Rahim. My name is Rashad. I belong to Rega. I read in class 10 in Buner School and College Rega. My friends, first of all, I thank Mr. Wahab sir and Sajjad sir who give me a chance for presenting my topic. Today, my presentation topic is the poem In Spite of War. Dears, this poem has been written by an English poetess, Angela Morgan. Now, who was Angela Morgan? Angela Morgan was an English poetess who lived in Queen Victorian age. She was born in 1875 in Washington, D.C. Her given name at birth was Nina Lillian, which she later changed to Angela. She was one of the best writers of her time. Her career as a writer started as a journalist for the Chicago and New York newspapers. Her most productive years were from 1914 to 1940. 1940. She wrote 14 books of poems, novels, columns, dramas, and short stories. She passed away on January 24, 1957. One of the poems being written by Angela Morgan is the poem In Spite of War. My dears, this is a subjective poem and is very optimistic if you hear it with great attention. The stanzas of the poem is as: in spite of war, in spite of death, in spite of all men suffering, something within me loves and sings, and I must praise with all my breath. In spite of war, in spite of hate, lilies are blooming at my gate, and tulips are tripping down the path. In spite of war, in spite of wrath. Courage, the morning glory saith, rejoice, the daisy murmureth, and just to life is so divine when fancies lift their eyes to mine. The clouds are romping with sea. The clouds are romping with sea, and flashing waves call back to me that not Israel, but what is fair. That everywhere a glory lay through despair. In the first stanza of the poem, the poetess says that there is war. The present world is facing war. Each day there are bomb blasts and suicide attacks which kills a number of people. In the present world, everyone is suffering. The situation all around is stressful. But I have a hope of peace and joyful pleasure. The hope makes me happy, and I must praise and welcome such hope with an open heart. The poet says that there is war, hate, and extreme anger among the people. But in spite of all these things, lilies are blooming at my gate. Moreover, tulips, which are bell-shaped flowers, are dancing joyfully along the paths. The poetess says that I confess, I acknowledge that there is war, hate, and negative things in my life. But in spite of all these things, there are also positive things in my life. I should ignore the negative things and focus on the positive things of my life. And the third stanza, the poetess says that everything of the nature gives us the message of courage and hope. And the third stanza, the poem says that the morning glory gives the message of courage, while daisy flowers speak softly about joy. One really enjoys life when the delicate fancies flowers lift their eyes to mine. The poet says that the clouds look very beautiful when they appear over the sea, and the beautifully shining waves call to me that nothing is real in this temporary world except beauty. There is uncertainty and hopelessness in the world, but the presence of beautiful objects of nature prevents people from becoming discouraged. My dears, if we look at the second and third line of the second stanza, fourth line of the third stanza, and first line of the fourth stanza, we can see poetic devices like personification there. The poet says that lilies and tulips are dancing at my gate. My friends, lilies and tulips cannot dance. Dance is the property of living thing. Only men can dance. But the poetess has personified them as their dance. Likewise, the poetess says that the clouds are playing with the sea. Like clouds cannot play. but the poetess has also personified them. The rhyming theme of the poem is fear, despair. Similarly, hate, gate, path, wrath, death, breath, etc. The whole poem is very, very important, but I like the fourth stanza very, very much. The poets say that behind every difficulty, there lies a glory. If you want to achieve the glory, you should have to face the death, trouble. Then you can achieve the glory. Got it? Clear? Now, any question about the related topic in spite of our poem? You can ask me.